Hey guys, Olight made a huge mistake. They asked me, what do you want to review next? Oh boy. So, Olight actually sent me a couple of lights, and this is the first out of them. And what we have here is the S Mini in copper, and I believe the exact one, this is the rose gold. They actually have several different versions of this that you can pick up, all special editions, plus the normal regular edition. You know, they have copper, titanium, stainless, you know, all the really good fancy ones. And I am the world's biggest sucker for copper flashlights, guys. I got to admit it, now that I've had a taste, and I know I'm a low budget guy, but you know, now that I've had a taste, I just would have no problem shelling out cash for copper flashlights. I really love carrying them. So let's talk about this S Mini. This is basically a premium version of the S1 Baton. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit brighter, plus it comes on, you know, several special editions that you can pick up in different materials. So we're going to zoom out here, talk about the performance. Olight, as usual, provided their handy little chart, which has all the usual stuff you expect: the waterproofing, impact resistance, everything you get from a premium flashlight. Your high mode is a 550 lumen that steps down to a 300 lumen after a minute and a half, and you're going to get about 120 minutes on that 300 lumen. Your next mode is 60 lumens for 8.5 hours, 12 lumens for 64 hours, and your half lumen moonlight for 30 days. Now, I've tested numerous Olights and found these numbers to be pretty close to exact every time. So I've never found any exaggeration. In fact, some of the lights I've tested have actually come out with higher lumens and better run times. It really depends on the battery, the condition of the battery, and all that stuff. Lots of times these lights are released and then, you know, battery technology gets better. So, you know, but this from just the rudimentary testing I did, everything seems right on par. Now, there are a few differences between the S1 and this. One of them being you don't have the magnetic tail cap. I think that's part of the way they saved on a little bit of space. And the pocket clip does not rotate around the light. It is in one fixed position. You can see there's a channel that it rests into, so you can't rotate that around to cover the button. This uses a TIR lens with a blue stainless steel bezel on it. If I remember right, I believe it's the XPL LED. Let me look and see if it's handy here. Oh, I don't see it handy, but I'm pretty sure it's the XPL. You know, it's a good, up-to-date, you know, it's not anything old. We'll also open this as well, just to show you real quick, because S-Light, with a lot of their modern flashlights now, the batteries do go in reverse to the rest of the market. So that is one thing to pay attention to. You will have to put these in backwards compared to normal. You can see O-ring sealed, and the threads on this are actually very nice. A lot of times copper lights have really mushy threads. They're very nice, sharp, well done threads on this. Really impressed with that. You know, and being there is no magnet in there, the negative connection is actually done directly to the back of the cap, which is kind of neat. Downfall of that is that there is no mechanical shut off to this light. You can't back out the switch or the tail cap a quarter turn and lock the light out. You do have to use Olight's method of locking it out. Now, the user interface is your standard Olight, which is you have the single click to turn it on, hold to cycle between your modes, and you have your 3 modes. Double click brings you to turbo, and you'll notice, guys, that when you do that, notice that the how it goes up gradually and turns off gradually. One of the cool features Olight has added into these is that when you turn these things on and off, it does it gradually. That's really good, because if you are using these per chance in like a car or a confined space, you're not going to blast yourself with 550 lumens. You do have your eyes get that little, you know, half a second to adjust. Make sure it's off. Holding it in from off will bring you to moonlight. Of course, regular press brings you to off. Double click brings you to turbo. Triple click to strobe. Everything you expect, and then I believe lockout. I hope this says lockout. Yes, lockout, you hold the long press, and then you only get that little momentary on moonlight. When it's locked out, hold it again, it'll blink, and then that should be off. Yep, and then we're back to normal. So as far as beam, let's go into a, this has, because it has a TIR lens, you can see the beam is very even. There is no really bright hot spot. So this is not a flashlight that's going to project for a long distance. This is a very good close-up flashlight, which is what Olight has been kind of focusing on recently. I see a lot of their flashlights go with this TIR lens, which I really like. I'm a huge fan of that TIR lens because, you know, small EDC flashlights, I very rarely need to see more than 10 feet in front of me. I don't have a need for, you know, a little EDC light with a smooth reflector that can throw 100 yards. I just don't have that need. If I'm going to be doing that, I'll bring a flashlight for that purpose. You know, with a light like this, I'm typically going to use it in the car, in the office, in the house, checking on the baby, things like that, you know, because it's in the pocket all the time, so it's very convenient. You know, going out into the garage, you know, my light switch is way across to the back side of the garage. You know, it's nice to have that to be able to see through. But I don't need to see 50, 100 yards. So these TIR lenses are really nice. They really spread the beam out nice and even. And you combine that with the fact that the light turns on and off gradually, it makes this a very pleasant light to use. You don't have to worry about, you know, blasting yourself with 550 lumens while you're driving a car. You know, you do have that little quarter second there to adjust, which is really cool. Pocket clip on this one, you know, I really wish it rotated, but I can live with it, you know, because I do like turning them over the button to protect them. You can see the button is proud of the flashlight tube, so it is a possibility it can turn on in your pocket. But so you're going to want to definitely use that lockout mode if you're going to be keeping it in your pocket for long terms. Now another thing to note with a flashlight like this, guys, is that whenever a flashlight uses an E-switch, which is an electronic switch, there is going to be some parasitic drain. So if you are keeping this long term, you know, in your car or for EDC, you're definitely going to want to charge up that battery every so often, because it is going to slightly drain it if you do leave it in that lockout or even just normally. It's not much. It's going to take you a long time. But then again, if it's something's in your car, you know, maybe there for a long time. You can use regular CR123 batteries, also the rechargeable 16340s, or also referred to as RCR 123s. Difference between them, the non-rechargeables are not going to be as bright. They're a lower voltage. They're 3 volts. They're not going to be as bright, but they're going to last longer. Your rechargeables are 3.7 volts, and they are going to be brighter, but not last as long. They don't have the capacity. When you actually look at the two, you know, your CR123s are going to be like 1500, 1600 milliamp hours. Your rechargeables are going to be like 800 or 900. So you can actually get twice the runtime by using the primary non-rechargeables. Plus, you do get a little better coverage as far as temperature. If you're going to be using a light like this in cold temperatures, leaving it in your car, the non-rechargeables do respond better to extreme cold temperatures. Just wanted to throw that out there as well. So overall, guys, this is a light, and whenever I review products, one of the things I always try and add in now at the end is, would I buy this product? Knowing what I know now, having handled it, having played around with it, had it in my pocket, carried it, would I buy it? And a lot of times when it comes to flashlights, I kind of feel like, no, I wouldn't buy it. You know, I already have a million flashlights. I already have all these other things. Why would I buy this? But in this case, this is a flashlight. Say, for example, if I lost this tomorrow, I would buy a new one and replace it. I mean, I might not buy the rose gold. I might buy a different one just to try a different color, but I would replace this. I like it that much, and given the price that it's, you know, that $50, $60 price range, you know, I really think it's just a nice little flashlight. It's very comfortable, a lot of great features, and I'm really just an absolute sucker for the copper flashlights now. I really like carrying them. I like the weight of them. I like the feel of them. I like the way they tarnish over time. Now this one I think has some kind of a coating because it really hasn't tarnished. And I haven't done anything to protect it, so it's probably got something going on with that rose gold or whatever that keeps it from tarnishing. But I like the looks of them. I like the feel of them, the weight, all that. I really enjoy it, and if I lost this today, guys, I would go out and buy another, because I do like this one that much. And I wouldn't do that with every light. You know, when I take a look at a lot of these lights, it's like, you know, but in the end, this is the smallest, brightest CR123 flashlight, and it's made of that material that I just really like. I really like that, and I kind of think it's neat. You know, as an office, you pull this out in the office, it's a nice conversation piece. You know, people are really kind of like, oh wow, that's really neat. It leads to great conversations about flashlights and gear and all that jazz. And you know, but even then, I really like it. You know, my biggest complaint, I wish it had the magnetic base still. I wish they would have kept that in there with that, but being they did sacrifice, you know, trying to make the light a little bit smaller, I can live with it. Plus, you know, when I think about it, am I really going to use this in a situation? Is this a flashlight I'm going to use when I'm working on my car? No, I'm not going to ruin, you know, a nice good copper flashlight doing that kind of work. I'll bring one of my beaters, you know, so I can live with the magnet being missing. But I've kind of grown to like the Olight interface. I wasn't the biggest fan at first, but having carried Olights a lot over the past couple of months, I've really gotten used to it and really kind of grown to like it. You know, that quick access to the moonlight, quick access to turbo, you know, and then the lockout features and all that. There's a lot going on for Olight. They've really done some great things lately. And this S Mini, you know, I think is my favorite of the bunch. Not so much because it is anything, you know, absolutely incredible, but I really like the fact that it's a really small, very pocketable, you know, and like I said, guys, I am a sucker for the copper. And I think the copper with that blue stainless steel bezel, the TIR lens, this thing really just fits all my needs for an EDC flashlight, and I really enjoy it and like it. And this is a light like I'm having, I carry it, and I just like, I enjoy carrying it. I like get up in the morning and I'm like so happy to put this in my pocket. I've really just not had this much fun in a while carrying a flashlight. And even though, you know, I've had this a while and I've gotten some other flashlights, I still tend to, I'm going back to this. I'm testing those other flashlights, and this is the one I'm going back to, which says a lot to me about the flashlight. So I hope you guys enjoyed.